Now, South Africa's first National Policing Summit has ended, and with it comes a renewed call for transformation from the highest office in the land. President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his keynote address, describing policing as at a crossroads and demanded a holistic, community-driven and data-informed approach to restoring safety and trust, from gender-based violence to economic crimes and from digital tools to ethical reforms. The summit covered bold ideas. But how do we turn these into action on the ground? Joining us now is Lesiba Thobakgale, spokesperson for the South African Police Union. Lesiba, good to speak to you. Now, President Ramaphosa said the summit must be a turning point. From your perspective, what was the most meaningful outcome?
Thank you so much for having us. Indeed, we attended the summit as an organization, and it was a much awaited kind of social dialogue that was quite important for it to be held. And for us, what is important and issues that we raised in the summit, every resolution or any decision that the management has to implement, they cannot be able to do it on their own. They need the workers, they need the policemen who are there on the ground. They need to go with them, which is quite importantly to us to say that they need to take care of the issues that are affecting workers. I mean, we have issues that relates to great progression or your promotions, issues that really relate to police killings, they need to be addressed, issues that relates to challenges around resources, because for everything else to be implemented, you need that whole machinery to be functioning quite properly. And we really take comfort as well with the fact that a commitment has been made to say that there would be implementation timelines that management of SAPS would really attach to everything that they need to implement. I mean, touching on the issue of technology, which plays a critical role, which we clearly welcome, even on the issues of the body cams, because they will assist us to see, more especially when it comes to police killings that we are seeing in this country. In most cases, we only rely on what, on what witnesses have seen. But in most cases, the first-hand information in terms of what has happened, you find that it becomes sketchy. So that would even assist, and maybe it will even assist as a deterrence. I mean, issues of e-dockets, that is quite progressive, because when we look at the world of work, it keeps on evolving, and such initiatives to align the South African police services with the ever evolving trends when it comes to technology, that would make efficiency to be much better. Imagine a world in South Africa where a police van goes to a crime scene, and then the vehicle thereof, it is fitted with that system where they don't have to use pen and paper to open a docket, but everything is captured on the system. Immediately it goes straight to the server, meaning that that information will keep on being safe. There is no way the issue of dockets missing and this and that coming by. It will even help. I mean, SAPS is attracting AMA 2000, the young people, whom when they come in and from their high school, majority of them, they are so used to the technology. When they come to the subs, then they use pen and paper. That on its own is really taking them back. So we really need to accept such things. We also welcomed as well the initiatives of building even forensic science laboratories, which are quite important in terms of fighting crime. When we look at the current backlog that our laboratories are faced with because they are overwhelmed. So we hope that the cooperation that was spoken about there, and that was made with business, that the issue of laboratories, they would come by and it would really assist in speeding up cases. But moreover, it is about proactive policing. I mean, most of the things that are to be implemented, some of them, they dwell even further on reactive policing. What is the most important thing? It is proactive policing, to say, how do we then prevent crime? I mean, the minister identified KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Western Cape, and also, yes, Western Cape and also Eastern Cape, to say those are the problematic areas, especially when it comes to violent crimes. So identifying them in that manner, the issue of murder in this country, it needs to be addressed. The issue of drugs, which are really taking the country back, where young people, they end up being addicted to them, and then the drug lords, they keep on, becoming rich at the expense of the community. All those types of crimes, they really need to be, to really be dealt with accordingly. But moreover, in everything, it goes with a budget. I mean, commitment to the budget. Government has to commit further. And we are hopeful that because this commitment was made by the president, him opening the summit itself, so to us, we are hopeful that we will see implementation, that it will not just be a talk show.
Lesiba, you've done well to capture numerous issues that came out of that conversation, obviously headlined by President Cyril Ramaphosa. But what's more critical is the implementation process of all of this. How do we ensure, I mean, what are the guarantees? Obviously, talk is cheap. How do we move from the president saying the right things and ensuring that there is that implementation, but not only that, that the necessary resources, financial resources, are made available?
Yeah, you're asking a very important question, because it does not help only if, the president has spoken like that. The minister also came about and even made some commitments, and the national commissioner highlighted in terms of the implementation to say, what, they are committed to this. Unfortunately, we cannot give a guarantee. We can only be hopeful as a stakeholder to say that government is taking the issue of crime serious, and also that the management of SAPS, including the police ministry, are taking the issue of crime seriously, taking the engagements that were made in the summit and even previously. The only thing that we can do, as a stakeholder, because it is not us who are implementing all of these issues that have been spoken about in the summit, it lays in the hands of the management of SAPS and also government. I think that commitment, it should clearly show, because even in the media briefing yesterday, the National Commissioner highlighted the issues of timelines, that they would attach timelines to the immediate into the short term, and even in terms of the long-term plans and so on, to say when are they going to do all of those things. So we have faith in them. We are giving them the benefit of doubt to say that they would indeed commit. It would not, everything that has been concluded there, it will not just collect dust in the shelves, because that will take us back. Financial commitment, I think government and even cooperation with business would really come by. But moreover, government, it is their responsibility to make sure that the South African Police Services and other role players who are, we've seen cooperation with the rest of the security cluster there, to say that there's commitments that are being made, cooperations with municipal policing, with everyone, all role players. So government has to really put action into their weights, more especially when it comes to the issue of making sure that there is enough budget to deal with the issues that are affecting workers in terms of the conditions of service, and also to deal with everything else that has been made as a commitment, ranging from technology to laboratories and anything else that will assist in reducing crime and making sure that the police are able to win against crime.
Lesiba, final thoughts on this issue, and the president did touch on gender-based violence and how it's been a thorn in the flesh of South Africa for many, many years. In fact, a few years ago, he called it the second pandemic. So you've talked about the need for government to come to the party. Let's talk about the need for the police themselves to come to the party. And I bring in the issue around GBV and femicide, as we talk about Cwekwe, the 7-year-old from the Eastern Cape, who was sexually abused almost 6 months ago, whose parents are members of the South African police service, but there's relatively little action that's been carried out by the police in those 6 months. What is your reaction to the police's responsibility in them completing their part of the bargain?
Yeah, the police are carrying a constitutional mandate clearly, and reflecting on our 2022 National Congress resolution to say we have a revolution against drugs, corruption and gender-based violence. It starts with us, the working class, and the police are regarded as the working class. And as they are fulfilling their constitutional mandate, justice has to be done accordingly when they are saving communities. The minister highlighted to say that matter, and it's unfortunate that something so painful has happened, and he highlighted as well to say that they are giving that matter, that case, attention, and we hope that finally we would see something that would really come out, because a child cannot indeed be sexually violated in that manner and nothing is done, more especially when it comes to the responsibility thereof. But we are taking the weights from what the minister had said, even even when giving feedback in terms of the cases that are being handled, more especially when it comes to the gender-based violence, to say that they are giving it attention. I think it is fair to give them space to really deal with it and to come to the bottom of it. But generally, gender-based violence at large, we need cooperation between our communities and also our police, because in most cases, those types of cases, they are happening behind closed doors, where, you know, the police sometimes they would not know until somebody has reported it. That's why we are saying that cooperation between the community policing forum, which making it even more necessary that in each and every community there must be those structures whereby if the victims they are afraid to go to the police station or to call the police, then they can be able to sensitize a community policing forum leader to say this is a challenge that a specific family is faced with or a specific victim is faced with, and then the CPF can then be able to really engage the necessary authorities. We need to hold hands together, and the first thing starts with us. We must not be the perpetrators of gender-based violence, and then let us have everyone in our communities to be sensitized about heavy fighting against gender-based violence and not to become perpetrators thereof. And by holding hands, we would be able to really fight against gender-based violence in our communities.
South Africa's first National Policing Summit has ended. Lesiba Thobakgale, spokesperson for the SA Police Union, speaking to us on that reaction. Appreciate your time.